The Galactic Alliance had a classification system for worlds. Garden worlds were paradises, temperate and gentle. Standard worlds had challenges, but were easily tamed with technology. Then there were death worlds, planets so hostile that most species couldn't survive there without extensive support systems. Earth was classified as a death world. Commander Tark of the Novan fleet stood at the observation window of his warship, staring down at the blue planet below. His facial ridges tightened with anticipation. The Novans had conquered 17 systems in the past decade. Earth would be the 18th. "Are the dropships ready?" Tark asked, not turning around. Lieutenant Kells checked his datapad. "Yes, Commander. All warriors are armed and prepared for hostile conditions." "Excellent. Remember, these humans have never left their world. They have no concept of the greater galaxy. Our intelligence suggests their technology is primitive, and they are fractured into hundreds of competing tribes. This will be swift." Kells hesitated. "Sir, about the environmental briefing. What about it?" "Earth is categorized as a death world, sir. Our warriors will need environmental suits." Tark waved dismissively. "For a brief invasion? Unnecessary. Our warriors are the finest in the galaxy. Environmental suits slow them down. We'll be back aboard ship before any serious exposure concerns arise." "But, sir—" "That's an order, Lieutenant." Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Jack Miller was having a perfectly ordinary day when the aliens invaded. He was hiking through the Montana wilderness, something he did every weekend to clear his head after a long week working construction. The morning had started with a light rainfall, followed by scorching sunshine that drove the humidity to uncomfortable levels, a typical summer day. He had just reached the summit of his favorite ridge when he saw them, sleek metallic craft descending from the clouds, landing in the valley below. Jack crouched behind a boulder, watching as tall, reptilian figures emerged from the craft. They moved with military precision, their scaled skin glinting in the sun as they formed perimeters and began setting up equipment. Aliens, actual aliens, on Earth. His first instinct was to run, to warn someone. But who would believe him? His second instinct was curiosity. He pulled out his binoculars for a better look. The aliens were at least 7 feet tall with powerful builds. Their scales were a deep purple, and they carried what were unmistakably weapons. Jack counted 30 of them, all moving with purpose, until suddenly they weren't. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Commander Tark received the first distress signal 2 hours after deployment. "Commander." Kells's voice was tight with concern. "Squad 3 reports severe respiratory distress. Something in the atmosphere." "Impossible," Tark snapped. "Our analysis showed the atmosphere was oxygen-nitrogen based, perfectly compatible." "It's not the composition, sir. It's something else. Microscopic organisms in the air. They're reporting burning sensations in their breathing passages." Tark's confidence faltered. "Send medical support." "What about the other squads?" "Squad 1 reports severe radiation burns from the local star. The ozone layer on this planet is minimal compared to our homeworld. Squad 5 walked into some kind of toxic plant that released defensive chemicals. Half the squad is temporarily blinded." Tark's facial ridges flattened in concern. "At Squad 2, they encountered a local life form, something called a bear. 3 warriors are dead, sir." Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Jack watched in confusion as the alien operation fell into chaos. Some were collapsing, clutching at their throats. Others were frantically trying to get back to their ships, their scaled skin reddened and blistering from what looked like severe sunburn. In the distance, he heard a familiar sound, the warning growl of a grizzly bear. The bear had cubs this season. Hikers had been warned to steer clear of this area. Apparently, no one had warned the aliens. The sound of alien screams echoed across the valley. Jack winced in sympathy. Those weapons of theirs didn't seem to be much help against 800 pounds of maternal fury. Then the sky darkened. Jack glanced up. Storm clouds were rolling in fast. A summer thunderstorm, completely normal for this time of year. The aliens, however, were panicking. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. What is happening down there? Tark demanded, watching the sensor readings with growing horror. The atmospheric pressure is dropping rapidly in their region, Kells reported. Wind speeds are increasing to dangerous levels, and there's electrical discharge in the clouds, massive amounts of it. Electrical discharge in clouds is apparently a common weather phenomenon on Earth. They call it a thunderstorm. Tark stared at the screen. Get them out of there. Now. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. The first lightning bolt struck one of the alien craft. Jack had never seen anything like it. The entire ship glowed blue-white for a moment before its systems failed, leaving it dark and useless on the ground. The aliens were running now, abandoning equipment as hail began to fall, golf ball-sized chunks of ice that left bruises even through their armor. Jack hunched deeper under his small rocky overhang, pulling his weatherproof jacket tighter. Just another summer storm. It would pass. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Tark stood rigid as the rescue chutes returned. Of 30 elite warriors, 22 returned alive. 5 were in critical condition from various environmental exposures. 3 were dead. How? He whispered. How do the humans survive there? Kells handed him a report. We captured their communications, sir. This may explain it. Tark read the report, his eyes widening. The humans didn't just survive on their death world, they thrived. They hiked through the wilderness for pleasure. They swam in the pathogen-filled oceans. They climbed mountains with minimal equipment. They lived in regions with extreme temperature variations, deadly weather events, and aggressive predators. And they did it all without environmental suits or support systems. Abort the invasion, Tark ordered, his voice hollow. Sir? Kells looked shocked. These humans, they're not primitive. They're terrifying. A species that evolved on a death world that considers lightning storms and microscopic pathogens and solar radiation normal. Imagine what they could do on a battlefield of our choosing. Tark looked back at the blue planet, seeing it with new eyes. No, we will not invade. We will observe, and we will pray they never develop interstellar travel. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Jack made it home that evening, soaking wet but otherwise fine. He told no one about what he'd seen. Who would believe him? 3 days later, all evidence of the alien presence was gone, whether removed by the aliens themselves or by government agencies who had noticed the incursion. Jack couldn't say. Life went on. Jack continued his weekend hikes. Sometimes he looked up at the stars and wondered if the aliens were still watching. If they were, he hoped they'd learned an important lesson. Earth wasn't just a planet, it was a forge, and humanity was the steel it had created.